Hello, EnteiTainment here. My name is Daniel, welcoming you to the first CSL analysis video in quite a long time. I think I've only done 2 or maybe 3 of these total, and the purpose of these videos is mostly for me to try to develop as a player and look at the mistakes I've made and try to learn from that. But the hope is that it will also help you guys as well be able to think more critically and learn from my experiences. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned. This is obviously a post-narration and will not have the same thrill of a live game. But if you do want to see this game live, I will now put an annotation on the screen. I will also put the link in the description in case you can't click on-screen annotations. So if you want to see that match, go right ahead. I will give you a second and I'll get a sip of water, so take your time. Alright, so if you're still here, I'm assuming you've seen the match or you just don't want to see it, and that's totally fine. So we're going to get into it by analyzing the team matchup, and the first part of this is Lilligant. So what I noticed right away is obviously that Venusaur should be able to wall Quiver Dance Lilligant. And you can go back to the game, you can notice that immediately from team matchup, I identify as this Lilligant, which is good. So far, we're so good. I identify that Lilligant is sort of a weird pick for him, which is step 1. Step 2 is realizing that Venusaur should be able to wall Lilligant, which is also something I did, which is great. We're doing great right now. And then step 3 is realizing that he must have a move for me, or he must have an item that lets him set up on me in order to win the game. And I did not get to that step. And that really sucks, because it was all fine logical progression until that one. And that is what ended up costing me this game. Because if I'd been able to slow down a little bit and think more critically about my opponent's moveset, I would realize that there's no way he would bring Lilligant as if my Mega is Venusaur, because he needs to be able to set up on that and kill it in order to win the game, and that means he has to have probably a hidden power of some kind and probably a poison damage reducing berry. So if I'd been able to make that deduction, I could have played this match a little bit differently, but unfortunately I did not. So this is going to sort of lead me into a bit of a confession. And I've been thinking about this a lot because it's come up a bunch of different times and it's very frustrating to me. So excuse me while I sort of rant for a second. There has been no match I've participated in my entire CSL career where I feel like I've performed better than even my most basic laddering matches. And what I mean by that is when I'm on the ladder, I just feel like a vastly better player. I'm able to predict my opponent, I'm able to set up my win conditions, or at least identify them. I'm able to play more smartly, and it's just so much easier for me on the ladder. But as soon as I get into a CSL match, just the environment is so different, and something changes, and I just can't do it anymore. And I'm not entirely sure. I've been thinking about this for a while and trying to identify what it is, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to pinpoint it at thinking critically. I'm gonna try to think more critically in these upcoming matches, and hopefully that will somehow fix my problem, because I think maybe it's because there's the pressure of me being able to prepare for his team, or the other way around, the pressure of him being able to prepare for my team in ways that obviously don't happen on the ladder. Maybe it's just the overall pressure because we're playing for differential, not like meaningless points on the ladder. Maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know, but there's just something that is different in CSL matches, or in any league-based match, I would assume, that does not compute with me, and I'm trying to figure it out, and it's very, very frustrating, but I'm trying to work on it, I promise, and hopefully it will get better. But basically, I just feel like I do way better on the ladder than I do in any CSL match, and I can say that extremely confidently. Like, I've had a lot of matches, I've thought about this a lot. This hasn't been the first time I've had these thoughts, and I am very confident in that. There has been no CSL match where I feel like I've performed better than even like most basic laddering match. And that's just true for me. I don't know why, but I'm gonna try to figure it out, and maybe this video will be able to enlighten me as to what the problem is. So anyways, Lilligant was the main thing about team preview, so we're just going to jump into it now. So here I sack one of my win conditions, and that's basically what I was just talking about. I feel like on like a laddering match, I might have not risked that, because looking at his team, Terrakion like completely murders his team, so I shouldn't have risked it. First of all, it's turn 1. I don't know what item he is. I don't know if he's Choppleberry. He ends up being Focus Sash. If he was Scarfed, I would have still killed him because I would have been faster. But I just shouldn't have risked it, basically. And I have a very easy switch in and Hitmontop. I can get the Intimidate drop. I'll still probably take an okay amount since I am Spadef, but I'll be able to at least take it comfortably, and I will still have my Terrakion, which is like the main point, because Terrakion would have been so useful. If it's Scarf, which it is, it outspeeds everything except for Galvantula if it is Scarfed. It is able to 2-hit KO pretty much everything, depending on what Bronzong's spread is. And it's just a huge threat. It's able to set up potential hazards for me. It's perfect. It's beautiful against this team, and I lose it turn 1. So that is obviously bad. I need to protect my win conditions a little more in the future, and I can't just risk things turn 1. So obviously we are off to an atrocious start. I do bring his Excadrill down to his Sash, so it's essentially useless now, but Excadrill wasn't very threatening to me in the first place, and Terrakion was vastly threatening to Rio. So this is obviously an exchange he is more than willing to take, and he does so. So that is just really great for him, and I am already way behind. So here, again, I'm kind of like throwing out my win conditions. So obviously Greninja is faster than Excadrill. I know Excadrill is not Scarfed because it is Focus Sash, so Greninja will outspeed, but it's too soon for Greninja. It does have nice coverage. It does pack the Aerial Ace, so it actually will be able to kill the Heracross and the Lilligant, so it does have the proper coverage for this team, but it's too soon because Kyurem is still a threat that cannot be one-shotted by even a +1 Night Slash. Since I am Lumberry, I will also not be able to one-shot the Galvantula. I don't know what item the Bronzong is running, and it actually ends up being Colbur Berry, so that would have been very bad as well. So basically, it's just too soon for Greninja, and I'm already sending out my win conditions, so I can't just outright sweep with this thing from turn 2. It's not that great against this team, particularly because of the Kyurem, so that was obviously a misplay on my part. I probably should have gone into like honestly anything that wasn't Greninja. Probably not Lantern, but I could have gone into Venusaur or Hitmontop or maybe Thundurus. That would have been a little weird, but I could have gone into any of those and been in a better situation than I am right now. So here I do set up to +1, which is fine and dandy, but the Galvantula does come out. He said afterwards he was trying to bluff the Scarf here. I actually can't one-shot him anyways since I'm not Life Orb, so he's Specs or something, so I didn't like buy into the bait or anything. I just honestly can't one-shot him, so I do have to switch out here into the Hitmontop on a Bug Buzz, which confused me. I didn't say anything during the match, but that confused me. I thought he would just go for a free Volt Switch, and I'm realizing now I have 2 Volt Absorb users, so I think clicking electric moves is a little scary for Rio, so that's probably why he went for Bug Buzz there. But anyways, we take a whole 14% from that, which is obviously fine, and he cannot stay in against Hitmontop. I can just wait him out, so he has to switch here, and I do predict his out switch. I don't know what he'll switch into necessarily, but I know he'll at least switch, so I do make a double into Thundurus, I think. Yeah, and the Bronzong comes out, so here I end up clicking knock off. Let me get some water, I'm sorry. I'm very dehydrated, I'm not entirely sure why, so I'm sorry if I have to pause a lot. But anyways, here I click knock off, which I think is a fine play, because right now, Bronzong is probably not clicking a psychic move. It's probably not clicking a steel move. Its options right now are to like set up rocks, to go for a coverage move he maybe has for me, or to pull another switch into Kyurem or something. So those are basically his three choices, and I feel like knockoff is just my safest play. It lets me get rid of his item, obviously, or the item or whatever he switches in. Yeah, it's obviously super effective, so that's nice as well, and it should do a good amount of damage and reveal to me if he's defensive or especially defensive. So knockoff is definitely my safest play, I thought, at the time. So he does have the Culver Berry, which means he's not going to take a lot of damage from knockoff, and he does go for the rock slide, which actually doesn't kill me, which was surprising. I thought that was going to kill me for sure, since Thundurus is not very defensive, but I guess this Bronzong is not very offensive either. So it's actually good that I knocked out his Culver Berry, because this could set up a potential win condition with Greninja. At +1, Bronzong should no longer be able to take Night Slashes very easily. He probably has a coverage move for Greninja, but he might not, and that would obviously be great, because that means he can't actually hit me back. So getting rid of the Culver Berry is really nice, since Greninja is still faster than everything on this team that isn't Choice Scarfed, and is able to OHKO the majority of it if I can damage the Kyurem and the Galvantula. So basically, here I just go for a Volt Switch. I know I'm able to survive 2 Life Orb hits, and I didn't think Thundurus was going to be the most useful anyways. It can't kill anything else. I don't think it can one-shot anything else, so it wasn't really useful anymore. And although it is very fast, I thought that getting a pivot here would be beneficial for me. So I do just go for a Volt Switch here to get more information about his set. He takes a ton from that, so I'm pretty sure he's physically defensive. And I have to get another sip of water, I'm sorry. And here, I wanted really, really badly to go into Greninja, because the Hitmontop switch is pretty obvious, I felt at the time, and I didn't want him predicting that and going for a Zen Headbutt, which he does end up doing, but I was more scared of switching in Greninja on an Explosion or some kind of coverage move for Greninja. I don't know why. I think at this point I'm extremely far behind. My Thundurus is basically dead, my Terrakion is dead, and now my Hitmontop is very, very damaged, so I need to be making more aggressive plays, and Greninja would have been the aggressive play that could have changed the game a little bit, because I don't know if I can one-shot this thing necessarily, but I could have maybe tried to set up on it, because I'm not sure if he can one-shot me either. But anyways, that didn't end up happening. I take a ton of damage on Hitmontop, which is really, really bad, because it can wall a lot of his team. We just saw Galvantula do basically no damage. It can get the Intimidate on Heracross or Kyurem if it's physical. It's very especially defensive, so it can take stuff from Lilligant. It's just very, very good against his team, and now it is extremely crippled, so it's very bad. I guess the good thing is I do kill him here with Close Combat. I'm not sure if that was a roll. I don't think it was. I calced it a lot, and I'm pretty confident that was not a roll, but I do take out his Bronzong, which is nice. And now this is where things start going downhill very quickly. The Lilligant comes in, and like I was talking about earlier, I did not think critically enough about this Lilligant, because it has to have something for Venusaur. Like, it has to, because Venusaur is my Mega. Rio knows that I'm probably going to bring my Mega, because it's very powerful. It matches up really well against a lot of his team, honestly, and it's just, he has to prepare for it, so he must have something. And what's especially frustrating is that I say this during the recording. I forget exactly what I said, but it's something along the lines of, Rio is fishing, okay, I'll take the bait. And I do. I take the bait, and I go into Venusaur, and he sets up his free Quiver Dance. So If he doesn't switch out here, I know that he has something for me, basically. If he doesn't go into like Curum or something, he must have a move for me. And obviously he doesn't switch out. He goes for another Quiver Dance, and I go for the Sludge Bomb, wherein he reveals his Hevia Berry. So he doesn't take a lot from the Sludge Bomb, obviously. He is +2 Spadef and has the berry. Actually, honestly, I still did a lot if he's +2 Spadef and with the berry. That would have done like 46% through +2 Spadef, so that's actually kind of interesting. But anyways, he takes that, and I forgot to Mega here. I'm not sure entirely what happened. I think I clicked Mega and then clicked Sludge Bomb, and then I canceled because I was still thinking about hidden powers and stuff, just not making the final conclusion. And I think I then just clicked Sludge Bomb the next time and forgot to click the Mega Evolution button. So this could have theoretically worked in my favor. Maybe he thought I would be a psychic damage reducing berry and could have been scared out. I don't know. But obviously that's not very realistic. So here I lose basically to what's on the field right now. Nothing is faster than Lilligant anymore. Nothing can take a Petal Dance, is it? Petal Dance, Petal Blizzard, Petal Dance, I think. And except for Venusaur, which is about to die to a Hidden Power Psychic. And this is basically where I lose. So there is only one way for me to even feasibly win this game, and it does involve keeping Venusaur alive. So I do need to switch out here. And really the only way for me to win is to go into either Thundurus or Greninja on a Hidden Power Psychic. And I think Thundurus would actually be better. So if I go into Thundurus on a Hidden Power Psychic, I then die, obviously, since I'm at like 3%. I would then have to go into Greninja or Lantern, hopefully forcing him to lock himself into Petal Dance. Now, I don't know what his moveset was. He probably had, I don't know what else Lilligant gets. I'm sure it gets Giga Drain or Energy Ball or something, some other grass move that doesn't involve locking himself into Petal Dance. So I might have just lost this game entirely at this point. But basically my only way to win is to try to switch in something like Lantern that forces him to go for Petal Dance. And then once he's locked into Petal Dance, I then go back into Venusaur and try to kill him with Sludge Bombs, because Venusaur will obviously not be taking a lot of damage from Petal Dance. He is +2, but it's like quad resisted, so there's no way that's going to be doing very much. And that is how I would get past this Lilligant. Obviously, that's completely negated if he has Energy Ball or something, because I'm sure Energy Ball still one-shots Lantern, and it definitely still one-shots Greninja, so the only other option would have been Hitmontop, and he's too low to take anything. He can't even take a Hidden Power Psychic, I don't think, so that would not have been an option. But basically, from this point, I don't even make that conclusion, and I just lose my only win condition again. I sack my win condition, so it's pretty frustrating. We'll just like watch the rest of the match because there's nothing else I really need to say about this. But I do end up just losing here to Petal Dance. I thought the only way for me to win now is obviously if he gets confused, and that's what I was playing for. That's why I was sacking everything except Greninja. But I didn't realize his ability actually prevents confusion, which is insane. I had no idea. But anyways, so I do just lose to Lilligant, and it is obviously amazing prep on Rio's part, and that's something else that I feel like I need to work on. I'm getting very out-prepped. I'm getting extremely out-prepped. It was Zwoops last week with the Air Balloon Aegislash. Now it is Lilligant with the Poison Berry and Hidden Power Psychic. I'm not prepping as hard as my opponents are, and I'm not sure why. I feel like I have been very inventive with sets in the past, so it's definitely within my capabilities to prep better than I currently am. Maybe I don't care as much, but I don't want to say that, because I definitely am not like about to drop out of the league or anything. I still have a lot of fun with these games, and it's great to be able to learn as a player how to become better at these kinds of games. So I don't know what it is, but I need to try to start prepping a little harder and being able to interpret my opponent's team based on my own team, if that makes sense. So a lot of things to think about for me, and it was a very, very interesting match. Definitely GG Rio, that was incredible. You were like apologizing after. I'm sorry, I hate that. I hate when opponents like apologize after beating your ass. Like, take the win. You don't rub it in, obviously, but like, you obviously performed amazingly. I'm not upset in any way. Like, Zwoops was apologizing for Air Balloon Aegislash, saying she like didn't deserve the win. Rio was apologizing for like, stop. No, you deserve this win. Please not apologize to me after you destroy me. It's not gonna make me like, I don't know, feel better. Just please don't do it. You deserve the win. It's a GG, and I don't know, that's just like a pet peeve. Don't say sorry to me after you beat me. That's not okay. But anyways, no disrespect, obviously. But just please don't do that. Thank you. Anyways, I think that is all I need to say. These videos, I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I don't do them very frequently, so if you don't, that should be okay, because these don't come out like every week. I just felt bad about, I somehow missed the team builder. Maybe I deleted it by accident or something, but I thought for sure I recorded it. I don't know, last week was crazy. I like lost track of days, and it was just madness. So this coming week will hopefully be better. I don't have a lot going on because things are winding down for finals, and then obviously they'll spike back up for the actual week of finals, but until then, things are going to be kind of calm, and I just have some papers to write and stuff like that. So hopefully my schedule for next week will actually be consistent. Maybe I'll throw in some Hearthstone or Showdown streams on Thursday, and that'll be fun. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit from it at least and enjoyed it. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Daniel, and EnteiTainment out.